Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal, everybody? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody that is in here. If you're wasted with your brother, wasted, tell a friend and tell a friend. You guys know how this goes every day of the effing week. Salute to everybody in the chat. It is a great Tuesday out here after a manic Monday. After there was a victory Monday. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I pretty much expected the win that we got, man. I expected it. I was excited and everything like that. But to me, when I saw who we were playing, and I know it was a 1 o'clock game and all of that stuff, right? But at the end of the day, man, they were a 4-13 team, and we have the veteran quarterback. And at this point in Geno Smith's iteration in his career at this point, he is further along and is a better player at this point than Drake May right now, right? And then I feel like we have the better head coach. So normally you pick a game, better head coach, quarterback combination is normally you go, then who has the best players, right? Max Crosby is decidedly probably the best player on the entire field. So I kind of knew we were going to win, right? And I would have been very, very, very disappointed had we not. Super disappointed, man. And thank God the Raiders took care of business. And now we're on to the Chargers, right? And we're not going to get into that too much. We'll do the Charger breakdown. But I kind of wanted to get into some news and notes for the day. Want to get into some news and notes for the day, man. Look, there's a lot going on in Raider Nation as usual, man. We haven't gotten full word on some of the guys that were injured yet. We will later on in the week. I think there's a little gamesmanship going on. There's a little gamesmanship going on. You know what I'm saying? With Brock Bowers. I personally think. I think Brock Bowers is 100% fine. I think E-Rob is going to be out for a few weeks. So look, man. Look, guys, we can go over some of the things from the game, but what I want to do is I want to get into some of the news cycle, yo. And let me get some salutations and salutes to everybody. Everybody, we got over 150 in the room. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. And everybody there on Twitter or X, listen, come on over to Raider Nation Unlimited on YouTube. We have cookies. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to stay over on Twitter, make sure you hit that subscribe button over there as well. Make sure over there on Twitter you hit the subscribe button, or make sure you hit that follow button, man. But man, salute to everybody in the chat, man, and salute to my guy, man, Accelerator, the great and powerful, man. He said that Milwaukee Admirals. That's dope. You coming all the way from Milwaukee, man. Salute, bro. The only man who gets me wasted after 18 years sober. Yo, appreciate you, my dog. Thank you for the $2 slapperoonie, bro. Thank you, man. We got the coffee in the place. Oh, V Breezy, LA. This is the man who was so negative. He was talking slick. He was talking crazy on Sunday. And he came here like a man. Congregation, he has come to repent for his sins in Raider Nation. Oh, my God. Yo, he's a man of his word. Salute to V Breezy. LA is in the place. He said, I was wrong. We came through. I stand corrected. Go Raiders. I have no problem admitting that I am wrong. I was not sold, but the boys, they pulled up, man. Listen, V Breezy, I understand you, brother. I'm going to be honest with you. I give you a lot of respect, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you for pulling up and repenting at the Church of Raider Nation. Oh, we got to let him cook. Yo, it took a lot of guts to do that, my man. A lot of effing guts. That's a real man right there, man. Salute. Everybody, throw the black flags up in the chat for V Breezy, man. It's our guy, man. Listen, he's down by law, but he's a GOAT. He came here and repented, man. Came here and repented, man. Yeah, man. But guys, let me ask y'all a quick question, man. Look, I saw some things in the news. We're gonna get into, ballers and busters, right? We're gonna get into some of the news cycle. Shout out to my guy, New Jersey Raider, that became a new member of the channel. Salute to our guy, New Jersey Raider. Blessing the channel, making the Wasted Town Army grow in droves, man. You know what I mean? And that's right, man. Beto, that's some real Raider-ish right there, man. Look, you see the black flags are up, man. Salute to our guy, V Breezy, man. But today, right? It's funny, man. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm watching, the reaction from the media because listen, man, a lot of times when you start talking about Raider news, you get into a lot of subjective nonsense, bro. You get into a lot of people who don't believe, you get into a lot of people who like to unfairly and unjustly disrespect the Raiders. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I always, look at the media with a jaundiced eye. I do. You know what I'm saying? And one of the main haters, one of the main scumbags that are out there in the actual sports media, who never gives the Raiders a fair shake. And I normally don't like to talk about stuff like this, but it really pissed me off when I saw this. Because the guy who's doing it, one looks like a damn ventriloquist dummy, right? And the other one was the biggest Nepo baby I've ever seen in the National Football League. I mean, a complete and total jackwagon and bum. A complete and total jackwagon and bum. I'm going to read this to you guys. The former quarterback, journeyman quarterback, Chris Sims, ripped Ashton Jeanty. Now, we all know that Ashton Jeanty is one of the most heralded running backs coming out. I mean, probably since Saquon Barkley, right? And running backs normally, when you have great running backs, they have a mark of success their rookie year. That running back is a position that normally transitions very well, right? Now, the Raiders got a win. Jeanty got a touchdown. People say he had a poor game, averaging 2 yards a carry, which is really tone deaf. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more. They said the offensive line didn't do him any favors, which that's not something that I really want to buy into, right? But it's only one game. But Chris Sims, the former NFL quarterback, slammed Jeanty after a win. He says, Ashton Jeanty, I know he's a star. I don't like the way Ashton Jeanty looks, he said on PFT Live. And he's over there with Mike Florio, who is the biggest jackwagon in the media. I can't stand that guy. He has not impressed me once yet. There's a lack of explosion that I think is lacking for a guy that was drafted in the top 10. I'm hoping I'm wrong because I loved watching him in college. But, I have not been thoroughly impressed at all. Now, look, guys, on God's green earth, how on God's green earth can you make that assessment from a place of knowledge when you have a guy that had 6 carries in the first half? 6 carries. And then he only had probably 5 meaningful carries in the second half. Then most of those carries that he got, I think he had 18 carries. He had 7 carries that were just to kill the clock. 3 yards and a cloud of dust. It was one game and he scored an effing touchdown. How on God's green earth can you make that assessment when he didn't get that many snaps in the preseason? Like, how is that possible that this guy is on NBC, on a major platform, and can go and make that assessment? I need to ask you guys, how is that even possible? You have a team that sold out to stop the run. We have an offensive line that as a unit are working some things out. it's almost like, and I hate playing into this, right? You have people like Chris Sims. You have people like Mike Florio. You have people like Colin Cowherd, right? With an aptly named. I've never seen a guy that was named more properly than Colin Cowherd. Biggest coward in media, right? You have people like Josh DeBow or DeBow, however you pronounce it, on Twitter, bashing the Raiders for clicks. Been doing it the longest. He even put a stat out there, shitting on Pete Carroll. He put a stat out there, because listen, man, you got a lot of these guys, they're omega level trolls, and they know how passionate our fan base is. They know how passionate our fan base is, and they know that it's almost like a dog whistle to shit on a Raider player. Listen to me. Chris Sims, if you guys remember, right? And I'm going to go talk about, we're going to get back to Raider ball, but Chris Sims is a guy that when you start talking about, people try to talk about like Bronny James and they try to talk about, people getting in positions and this, that, and the third and nepotism and all this kind of stuff, right? I've never seen a person be handed more than Chris Sims and have them totally squander it and fumble it like that kid. That kid took a job when he was at Texas from a young quarterback named Major Applewhite. Now, Major Applewhite was never going to be any good in the National Football League, but he was a great college quarterback for the University of Texas. He won. And they gave that bum that job in the University of Texas, and he did nothing with it, with a whole shitload of talent around. What a effing bum. Just because he is the son of a Super Bowl MVP, and for my money, a guy that I grew up watching, being from where I'm from, in Phil Sims. Phil Sims is one of the toughest quarterbacks ever played this game. By no means a super great quarterback. Probably that guy that crushed right under a Hall of Famer. But Phil Sims was a damn good quarterback. Listen, this guy was when I tell you this guy was a bum, this guy, Chris Sims, was a bum. I mean, dude, and I never call pro players bums. I have respect for them because they're playing at a level that I can only dream of. But you know what? Chris Sims was a effing bum. He was soft and he was a bum. And for him to come in here, look, guys, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a little trip down memory lane. We're gonna go and we're gonna talk about Chris Sims in the National Football League. And I know this isn't Raider content, but you guys humor me for a minute. All 401 of you guys, humor me for a minute, man. And you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna pull a little special guest to read Chris Sims's stats. Hey man, listen, if anybody knows how much of a bum Chris Sims was, man, I'll tell you something. To me, that was this guy's coach, man. Let me tell you something. You guys see right there on the screen, 467 yards. 467 yards, 5 games played, man. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, man. Then we started him 11 games, man. 2,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, man. Then the next year, 3 games played, man. 106 attempts. 585 yards, man. 1 touchdown, 7 interceptions, man. Horrendous. He might be the worst quarterback I've ever coached, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I let me tell you something, man. I've coached some pretty shit quarterbacks, man. I coached Josh Freeman, man. You guys ever hear that guy's name before? Josh Freeman, man. Let me tell you, coach him, Mike Glennon, man. Let me tell you, Chris Sims might be the worst quarterback to ever play this game, man. Next to Jamarcus Russell, man. Let me tell you guys something, man. This guy is dumpster juice, garbage. He has the nerve to talk about the Raiders, man. Let me tell you guys something, man. Nasty work. So look, I'm gonna get it back over to Wasted, man. Guys, Coach Gruden, guys. Coach Gruden, guys. Do you guys see this? So this is the kind of jackwagon that they allow to come on. And that's the importance of platforms like this. That is the importance. Because listen, I'm going to give you the information, not affirmation. Information, not affirmation, guys. You know, it's nasty effing work up in here, man. But salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to the church of Raider Nation with the $2 slapperoonie. Repent, y'all, and be forgiven for your sins. Oh, my God, my God. The Raider Nation Church, man. Amari loves you with the $2 slapperoonie. The Chargers game will be the litmus test for us. Bro, look, it's too early in the season for anything to be the litmus test for us. What it is it's a litmus test for the beginning of the season, right? When you talk about the National Football League, you talk about how you judge these teams, you have to do it on a quarterly basis, right? It's 17 games, right? So to me, it's 4 quarters of the season. It's the first 4 games, second 4 games, third 4 games, and then the stretch run at the end of the season. And the reason why I view it from that prism is because the league is ever so changing, man. The league is not boilerplate. The league isn't. Things are fluid in the National Football League. Things are fluid, right? When you're dealing with a situation with injuries, you know, teams around you having injuries, right? Just the natural flow of the league, right? How people are playing, how many rookies are improving. You know, you have guys that are not injured but are hurt and playing hurt. So I think the litmus test needs to be taken, and you need to contextualize everything that happens after the first 4 games, right? So we got a road game out of the way, right? We got a tough one with the Chargers. You know, we haven't had a whole lot of success against the Chargers in LA. We're playing at home. I saw an article today where they were looking at the ticket sales for Allegiant Stadium. We will have a home field advantage. 84% Raider fans, 16% Charger fans. So, you know, that pendulum will probably swing a little bit more too. So I don't view this as a complete litmus test, right? Because I don't necessarily know that, you know, Jeanty and guys like that, you know, I don't know where they will be in the middle of the season, right? Because they'll probably be a lot better players. But in a sense, it's a litmus test for the secondary and his defense, right? You know, so we will see towards the end of the week, man. We got to see how things shake out with Brock Bowers, right? I think this, you know, if it's going to be anything, right, I really, really think that this is going to be a Brock Bowers special. This game is going to be a Brock Bowers, if he plays, and an Ashton Jeanty special. You know, I think the important thing for the Raiders to do is to show the rest of the league, you know, that they have the ability to run the ball effectively, right? We also have to get a better game out of you know, the guy that we never thought would be an issue on his line, and that's Jackson Powers-Johnson. You know, and I am not a person who is jumping ship. I still think he is super talented. I have a lot of faith in that young man, you know, but if we're being honest, he didn't have the best game Sunday, right? And when you're trying to run the football up the middle of the field, your guard has to be playing at a high level in this league, man. It is very, very hard to get any semblance of a running game going where you have, you know, a guard that was winding up on his back a lot of those plays. JPJ has not had a good game. And I think if anybody needs to kind of turn it around on this team, it's Jackson Powers-Johnson, 100%. And we got a lot of love for him over here on this platform. We got a lot of love for his family, everything. And I think he's going to be an excellent player. But see, such is life, right? These are the things that you have to overcome as a young player, right? The road to greatness is not an easy road. It is not an easy road. The road to greatness is not an easy road. There are certain people that are Hall of Fame players, man, and it just looks like from the beginning of their career to the end, it was effortless. It just looks that way, right? There are guys like Charles Woodson, where Charles Woodson really never had a bad year. He always was a factor. He always, you know, but most people in this league, have to, they gotta grow into those big boy pants. They do. And I fully expect for JPJ. I think if anything, it is a mental thing with Jackson Powers Johnson. I think he's gonna show up and show out against the Chargers. Everybody, shout out to my guy Raider Ryan, man. Been a member for 22 months. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Nation Raiders salute, man. My guy Darth Raider, bro, with the $2 slap-a-rooney. They hate us because they ain't us. Man, listen, you ain't never lied about that, man. Let me get to some of y'all in the chat, man. So guys, let me ask you a question, man. What do you guys think about this JPJ thing, man? Do you guys think this is a concern? Do you guys think that this is something that, the Raiders and the brass of the Raiders need to address? Do you guys think that if he has another game like this, do the Raiders need to think about making a change? I see some people on Twitter. I see a lot of people in my chat, and I see people commenting on my last video, and they were saying, listen, I think that Jackson Powers Johnson needs to be center. And what I will tell you is this, right? When you have mental lapses, that is the one place on the offensive line you cannot have that. So if we're being honest, we got to be honest here, right? A lot of us, when we're watching, we watch from the naked eye. We're from the outside looking in. Even if we're at practice every day, right? We don't know the intentions of the coaching staff. We don't know the playbooks. We're not on the team, right? You can know football, know formations and things like that, and kind of try to figure it out for the most part, but you don't know. And I think this is a prime reason why we got to allow things to play out, right? We got to allow things to play out, and we got to allow for the kid to kind of get it together, and we got to allow for the coaches to put these guys in a position to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people saying, oh, he should go to the, he should go and be center. He just start. But listen, man, if there are mental lapses and things of that nature, and getting penalties on the sideline, you can't be the quarterback of the offensive line and not be that. You cannot do that. You cannot do it. My guy Raider Solo in the place, man. JPJ taking his frustrations out on the field instead of trying to get better. He's young, but he's going to improve by week 4. Bro, Doug, 100%. 100%, man. I can't make it more plainer, bro. This is an ascending player, and we have to keep that in mind at all times. This is an ascending young player, man. An ascending young player. Yo, salute to everybody in the place. Shout out to John James, who's about to get blocked, wasted. Of all people, you should know about mental lapses. You get the F up out of here with your crap, John Jones. Listen, man, this is nasty effing work, man. We come here to give you information, not affirmation, give you a great show, and you're up here taking effing shots. The F up out of here with your crap, John. My God, man. My guy Cisco Duarte. I think he's low-key upset about the position change, and it might have affected his confidence. Look, bro, I don't want to put that on him, bro. I don't want to put that on him. We don't know that. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm being honest with you, it's dangerous to start narratives like that. It's dangerous. And I'm reading this for a reason. I want to kill that narrative right here on this show. I think Jackson Powers Johnson understands how amazing it is to even be in this league. I think he understands how amazing it is that he's starting, right? I think it's amazing. I think he thinks it's amazing that he's getting as many snaps as he gets. So, position, potato, right? At least you're starting. At least you're out there. At least you're in line to be an all-pro one day and make a lot of money in this game. So I think that JPJ looks at it all as a blessing, if I'm being honest, man. I mean, that's my personal opinion. And I think he'll be ready, man. My God, pillaging just for fun. The O-line needs to step up big this week against the Chargers. I'm nervous for this game. I want to beat the shit, that shit team. Hopefully we sweep them. Yeah, I mean, and you know what's funny, man? If you want to talk about somebody that wants to beat the Chargers, nobody wants to beat the Chargers more than Pete Carroll. Let me tell you something, man. Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh go back a long, 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 long way. A long way. And that is a real rivalry, guys. I got a short that I put up, and I'm going to put it up. I'm going to put it up today, so I forgot to hit send. But Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh, let me tell you something, man. If anybody, if the Raiders are going to go out there and go get this win this week, they are gonna yo, look, let me tell you something, man. Go get it for Pete. Go get it for Pete, because right now Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh have played each other, 12 times. And at the end of the day, they are 6-6, bro. They're 6-6, and Pete has an edge over him in the NFL, where he has a 5-4 record against Jim Harbaugh. But them guys do not like each other. They respect each other, but they do not like each other. And I'm telling you, you could take that to the bank. This is going to have to be a Pete Carroll special. My God, Jesus is king. I think it's getting overblown a bit. If you watch all 22 on JPJ, he has some really good blocks, and both big runs by Jeanty came behind him. He also was the only guard going one-on-one with the Pats D-line. And bro, listen, I can definitely buy into that, right? But the thing about being a great offensive lineman is consistency, not having any lapses. Now, if you look, and I know there's two different positions, but if you look at a guy like Joe Alt that we are going to have to deal with, Joe Alt as a rookie, and I know a lot of you don't want to hear this, he whitewashed freaking Max Crosby. Max Crosby had a very bad game against Joe Alt. He couldn't get anything going against that kid. Nothing. And I saw Joe Alt whitewash freaking or wash out freaking Chris Jones. Joe Alt is a problem, bro. And you don't hear those excuses coming from him. Right? So when I look at it, bro, same amount of years in the league, yo, I'm gonna need for JPJ to be consistent and dependable, man. That's what that are the traits that makes a good lineman, bro, a great lineman. My guy, Yeti Strain is smoking records. Yo, appreciate you for the $10 slapper Rooney, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Yo, I think they keep this is a family show, Yeti Strain. You guys know what he's saying. I think they keep dunking around JPJ. He's gonna leave like Hudson, regardless. If he wants to be a Raider or not, he's going to be a Pro Bowl center for another team. Let's hope not our division. He's not gonna leave, bro. If he is supposed to be a center, and eventually, if he has the tools, he will be the center for this team. He will, bro. I mean, just he needs to focus on being the best piece for what the Raiders need now. Being a guard, being a center, either which way, that's the thing that he needs to worry about. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, man, look, he's earned nothing in this league yet. He got to go out there and earn it, man. Shout out to the over 500 of y'all in the room. Get wasted with your brother Wasted, man. We don't want JPJ to be good. We need him to be great. This is why he should be held to a higher standard. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that metric. They don't understand it. Shout out to my guy, Jesus is King, with the $5 slapper Rooney, man. Hold on. Yes, I agree. But Joe Alt was a first-round pick and playing his natural position. I do agree with you, although no mental lapses if you're trying to be great. That's not necessarily true. Joe Alt, because of Rashawn Slater, played right tackle. He was a left tackle in college. Now he's being a left tackle now because Rashawn Slater's out. But, Joe Alt had to play at a position too. And JPJ was a high second-round pick. He might as well have been a first-round pick. You know what I mean? He was a second-round pick, but the Raiders took him probably, 5 spaces, probably after the last pick in the first round, 5 spaces. So it's not like JPJ is some middling lower round pick. I don't think that the expectations are like way higher on first round picks and second round picks in context, because JPJ is a guy who was looked at more favorably than that, and he kind of dropped in the draft because of it. My guy, JT Douglas in the place. Keenan open all day versus KC. Got to shut him down. Keenan's open all day, all the time, right? The main thing the Raiders definitely need to do is, and I don't want to get into this. We're doing a show preview later in the week. So, guys, gather around the fire. We're going to go through the news cycle today. But, and I'll leave a little meat on the bone for later. But what I will tell you is that if the Raiders do nothing else, the Raiders need to get in that backfield and they need to hit the quarterback, and they need to wrap up and make tackles. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. If you get a lot of 3 and outs, you're going to have a situation where win, lose, or draw, you're going to tire that team out. Your defense is going to get rested, hopefully, if you can get the run game going. And guys can start seeing, exactly how much of a juggernaut this team could be. But salute to you, my guy. Salute to you. My dog, JT Douglas, man, the resident comedian over here at Raider Nation Unlimited, bro. My guy, Soul Chef. Speaking of, I don't think LMK Crosby forgot about all the comments about his. Wait, I don't listen, bro. You gotta let me know what that abbreviation. I'm old. I don't know what that abbreviation is. But yo, speaking of that, I don't think LMK Cosby forgot about all those comments about his performances versus Alt last season. He's likely had this game circled. Payback. And I hope so, bro. I hope so. But I'm going to tell you something, man. Human beings like Joe Alt that can move like that don't come around very long. Joe Alt is one of those guys that if they keep him at left tackle or whatever, he's going to be like Joe Thomas. He's going to be there. He's going to be like the Rock of Gibraltar. He's going to be there for his whole career. That's how I view it. Salute to everybody in the chat. So, guys, listen. We got to get into some of what happened with the New England game, right? Now, one of the things that was huge to me is the emergence of Tommy Eichenberger. He had to come in for Landon Roberts, man. Took a whole lot of snaps, right? Devin White played phenomenal too, man. Devin White played phenomenal. Jermaine Pratt played very well. But Tommy Eichenberg played 25 snaps, and he looked great, man. And to be honest with you, some people would say he outplayed Landon Roberts. Now, look, you're not going to see that in the box score, right? But when you take a deeper dive, you can see how significant of a role he played, man. Significant role, man. He had a pro football focus grade of 66.7. You know what I mean? His pass rush grade was 55.6. However, his run defense and coverage grade was 63 and 66. And man, that's phenomenal. In coverage, Tommy Eichenberg really showed up and showed out. And I feel like once E-Rob went down, the defense kind of turned around a little bit with him in there. It is very early, right? It is very early to make that assessment, but I loved what I saw out of that kid. I loved it, man. Loved it. But salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother wasted, man. Salute to my brother Graphic, and the Graphic Raider is in the place to be, man. And it's funny, man. Like, I got in front of the screen. I'm so relaxed in front of y'all, bro. I'm almost like damn near. I almost feel like I want to take a damn nap. I'm so relaxed in front of y'all, man. Mondo Ace, look, don't jump the line. You say that to the end of the show. Canelo or Crawford, salute, Ways. Appreciate you for the $2 slap-a-roni. Listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been telling y'all the whole time, it's Bud all day for me. It's Bud all day for me. But when we start talking about, guys that had great games, Ashton Jeanty had a terrific game as well. And he didn't have a terrific game, running the football per se. And hopefully that changes against the Chargers, right? But he definitely did well in pass protection. I saw a little film of him in pass protection, and I noticed it during the game, man. Ashton Jeanty, for a rookie, man, is legit as a blocker, man. He did a terrific job, man. Terrific job. Another guy, man. Listen, man. When you start talking about, the defense and how well they played and kind of pitching a shutout almost in the second half, you got to look at Devin White, man. He was all over the place. He was excellent stopping the run, man. Excellent stopping the run, man. He led the team with 8 solo tackles too, man. Combined for 6 tackles with loss. He was all in the backfield, man. He was a guy that set the tone on his defense, and that's one of the big reasons why I was so excited when we signed him. Listen, I told you guys in the offseason, I really have strong doubts that a young man like this doesn't have anything left in the tank. I know he does. I think it's people, places, and things, man. I think this is the place. These are the right people to get the most out of him. I mean, he did a terrific freaking job, man. Terrific freaking job. My guy Grab, he goes, picked up that blitz and freed up Geno to make plays. Jeanty looked good. And yo, bro, and that's why what Chris Sims did is so damaging to me, right? It's very damaging, bro. And I really want, you know, and I know that the Raiders can't coach this team and call a game based off of what the media is talking about, but I hope it is a concerted effort for Chip Kelly and, you know, the Raiders brass to kind of get this kid going. Seriously, man. I am praying that the Raiders are going to try to set the tone with Jeanty early, because the one thing is, if you get Jeanty going this game and he's somebody that exhibits that he's a problem at this level, now the offense looks a whole lot different. Now the way they scheme for the Raiders looks a whole lot different throughout the rest of the season. We don't want the narrative floating around the league that this kid is a bust and he's ineffective, and then they start selling out to stop the pass. I'm telling you, I'm definitely glass half full on Ashton Jeanty, man. Paper Chase, do you find it troubling that Chip never called any plays to get Jeanty the ball in space? Find it weird considering Chip used to do that in college so often. I don't find it weird because, listen, you got to understand something. One, that field was super slippery. That field is super slippery. All of this new grass, it doesn't get as soggy as real grass, but this new like turf grass stuff, it gets very, very, very slick. Very slick. Very slick. And then, you know, he's a rookie. It's a rainy game. I think Chip wanted to put him in a situation where he wasn't taking that much punishment, if I'm being honest. My guy, Mr. Cold-Blooded, a.k.a. Creamed Corn, the great and powerful. He goes, it's Bud all day for you. You can rest assured, Bud all day. Man, get out of here. You talking that boxing talk. We'll do that on a late night waste. You got to get out of here with that crap. But yeah, Jeanty played team ball, bro. I don't know what these guys are looking at. I really don't know. And it baffles me because you have guys that have played in this league at a high level. And they have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to go out there and disrespect this kid who scored a touchdown, picked up the blitz, did not make any major mistakes, and got a dub. Got a effing dub, man. Salute to everybody. My guy, Dolph. If Jeanty could have made the corner and not a slip, that's an easy 30 yards. Yeah, that's a fact. And then now, you know, now we get rolling. He picked up some positive yards. Let's go get him some more. But the thing that stood out to me about everything that happened is the fact that Geno Smith was able to get hit and continue to play at a high level. I didn't see that play drop at all, man. Seriously, you know. And that's something I'm not used to as a Raider fan. I'm not used to that. I'm used to when our quarterback gets hit a few times, they get rattled, and then it's like a jailbreak. The game gets out of hand. This is not what we're dealing with Geno Smith, man. Geno Smith is poised as hell, man. He is poised as hell, man. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's refreshing to see that. It is refreshing as hell to see that, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Now, listen, when you talk about the Raiders, man, the Raiders' run defense was so stout, man. They limited the Patriots to 60 net rushing yards, man. That's phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. Drake May led them in rushing. And DeMario, it's crazy, bro. Receiver DeMario Douglas and Drake May led them in production. 3.3 yards a carry. The Raiders showed a lot less rushing yards Sunday than in any of their games in 23rd. Wow. In 2024. Look, Kai Blue Kelly is another kid who balled out of his mind. I love that Pete gave him another shot. This is looking like a legit shot, right? A lot of times when you bring in guys like Kai Blue Kelly and stuff like that, you know, you're really trying to get them reps Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get them to a place in their career where they get enough reps so they have a chance to actually be a factor. And sometimes that doesn't happen in the NFL in your first stop. It doesn't happen a lot of times in the team that drafts you. Sometimes it happens in another place. And I think we're reaping the benefits of Pete Carroll having a pipeline and a lifeline back to the Seahawks. I really do, man. But, you know, besides that bogus call, man, that kid was lights out for us, man. I couldn't be happier. You know, when I knew that what we were doing was okay with him, I knew that, man, when they sat down a kid that they had going into the preseason as the presumptive number one. When Pete made that switch, I believed in it because it takes a lot of guts to sit down a high young draft pick that everybody's been lauding and touting for a wily old veteran. That's how I know Pete and them are definitely going for it, man. Yo, Isaiah Powell came away with his second career interception too, man. He stepped in last year in a starting role because of some injuries, and Powell is like emerging into a stud full-time safety, man. Now, see, in the cover 3 scheme, his interception came right on time because what Josh McDaniels always loves to do to the Raiders, and a lot of teams do that to the Raiders, they love to attack us, you know, in space, in the middle of the field. For some reason, we have had bad luck finding people that can really break that down. We've had a lot of bad luck doing that, man. A lot of bad luck. Salute to everybody in chat. Get wasted with your brother wasted, man. My guy, JT Douglas, man, with the $5, $2 smackaroonie. He goes, Keenan open all day versus KC. Got to shut him down. You damn right, man. Wait, hold up. My guy, Soul Chef. Speaking of, don't think Crosby forgot about all the comments about his performance last year. He likely had that game circled. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. And listen, when you get shut out by a dominant left tackle, I don't necessarily call it a bad game. And then you got to look at the fact that Max Crosby was kind of nicked up last year. So I'm going to give him a mulligan on that game. Yo, my guy, JT Douglas, on your pregame podcast, I told you at 38 minutes, and Devin White on game day is ready, mofo, watch. This week, Kaya Blue Kelly, 2 interceptions. Hopefully, bro, but I'm going to be honest with you. You did not land on Plymouth Rock with that school of thought with Devin White. I've been the biggest Devin White guy for the longest. The biggest Devin White guy for the longest. Yo, shout out to my guy, Heat Check. I feel like people aren't talking about the rain enough. Like, if that don't make a difference in a football game, what did Travion Henderson do? I saw people saying Travion Henderson was going to be a lot better than Jeanty. Well, listen, man. It's subjective, right? It's subjective. Like, you know, you could take Jeanty, you could take, you know, all of these young guys, RJ Harvey, Henderson, Jukins, I mean, any of these guys, and you can line them all up. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's not a whole lot that's separating one from the other, man. A lot of the times it's opportunity. A lot of times how many snaps you get. A lot of times is what situation that the offensive line put you in. There's a lot of different variables, man. That's why I hate when everybody just tries to judge like that. Shout out to my guy, Terry Ogden, man. Meant low stats are because of the slick ground. Conservative effort to stop him, and Landry, Williams, and Barrymore, Spillane, and Chasen, and Ellis at the box. That's a fact. But I'm not going to go out there and make an excuse because it's raining. Like, when it's raining, that's normally when you lock in and let the running back go crazy. Right? If you look at the way Saquon Barkley closed out that game against the Rams, you know, with Philly last year, you couldn't even see the freaking hash marks, and he was running all over everybody. So what's that? What makes that different? Shout out to my guy Anthony G in the place to be. Chip called a great game. The true test will be seeing how he schemes going forward. Pat sold out, stopping the run. It worked. Opened up play action pass for Geno. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Chip called a terrific game from the passing perspective. The one thing I don't like about what Chip Kelly does is he gets a little reliant on the passing game. A little reliant where he's not going through his progressions and things like this. He gets a little jaded, right? I don't like that. I like to see some variety. I like to see balance from my play calls. Now, Chip Kelly has always had a situation where in college, you know, he came out cooking. This was in the NFL too. His teams would come out cooking, and then in the second half, they would be a little rudderless offensively. So I'm just wanting to make you guys aware that is a real phenomenon for me. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Yo, salute to my guy Sniper Jones in the place to be, man. Ruben Russ, Josh McDumbass, 5 rushing attempts in the second half. Expect a better, more balanced attack from Greg Roman. Booker needs to follow up with another big game. Look, if we're being honest, when you got a close game like that, right, by any means necessary, if you haven't established the run in a real way, they're going to keep doing what works. And unfortunately, the thing that works is the Raiders were leaving Keyshawn Boutte uncovered. I don't know what kind of scheme that is where you constantly have guys that are untouched. They're getting a free release from the line of scrimmage. It's insane to me. They were scheming him and Hunter Henry in a space where nobody was touching them. And they were able to just run out there like two-hand touch football and catch the football. Not bad for a QB with a so-called bottom 5 wide receiver group, huh? Geno was that dude. The command of the offense and total bias aside, Geno got some of the nicest spiral throws in the game. Salute, bro. Salute, Sniper. Yeah, Geno, he threw the ball like Warren Moon. I was sold on Geno when he threw across the field to Michael Mayers for the first down. That was a top-tier QB throw. Yo, having the presence of mind to roll out that little naked boot and completing it to Michael Mayers was a terrific play. I think he could have got more of you to let him a little bit more, but he was on a run. Terrific, terrific play by Geno Smith. Man, salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and make sure you guys hit that membership button, man. It costs you nothing. We have cookies over here too, man. The F is going on here. Coach sipping Jamba Juice. He was left open because he smelled like, oh, get that F up out of here with your crap Jamba Juice with that stale juice. And here you guys go with this crap. Booty was open wide. Yo, listen, I told you, it's a family show, and here you guys go with this crap. The F is wrong with you guys, man. What is wrong with you guys, man?
Angry man, what you doing here? Man, sit your ass down.
Gotta sit y'all asses down, man. You gotta cut this out here. You guys are turning this into something it doesn't need to be. Even though Booty was open all game. The F is wrong with you guys, man. You guys are sick, man. Sick. Sick people. Shout out to my guy, Ira Jackson. Shout out to Alpha Omega Forever, man. Shout out to CGR, the mod extraordinaire, man. The train has gotten derailed. Yeah, Jamba Juice, you do this all the time. You do this all the effing time, Jamba. You come in here with your crap every damn week. You gotta cut that out, man. You got to, man. I mean, this is crazy, Jamba Juice. You should know better than that. You are a man of a certain age, man. But guys, look, man. We got a tough game coming up this year, man. I mean, this week, man. This game is a season-defining game. I know it's early in the season, but I think that the Raiders can give themselves some cushion if they can get in a favorable place in this division very, very early, man. Telling you right now, man. Pillaging just for fun. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Yo, salute, man. Salute to my guy, man. Yeah, man. But guys, getting back to the game past weekend, man, because, you know, we spoke after the game, but I haven't been on in a while. So I really wanted to touch on this, man. Geno Smith and making that move was, to me, one of the pinnacle moves in the history of this organization. And I'm going to tell you why, man. Going and getting a Geno Smith, right, effectively frees the Raider up to do a lot of different things, man. Now, I know, you know, a lot of us look at Geno Smith and we feel like he's here for a good time and not a long time, right? But if I'm being honest, right, I think we have a 4 to 5 year window with Geno Smith. And I think there's a few things that can happen with Geno Smith being on the roster, right? And I'm going to tell you why I'm so appreciative of Geno Smith being on the roster. I want to tell you why I'm so appreciative of what exactly Pete Carroll and this organization did. Because one, when you look at Geno Smith's, you know, contract, right? Geno Smith is not making anywhere near what a lot of these other quarterbacks are making, man. You know, Geno Smith signed a 2-year contract extension with the Raiders for $75 million with a $66 million guarantee. It keeps him with the team through 2027, right? So right now, the deal extends his previous contract. He had 1 year remaining with Seattle, and he was signed shortly after that with the Raiders, right? But the extension has an average annual value of $37.5 million, which includes 58.5 guaranteed at signing, right? So when you start talking about what Geno Smith is making is commiserate to what other people are making in this league, man, it is a significantly less than a lot of other top tier quarterbacks. It puts him right like kind of smack dab in the middle, man. You know what I mean? Yo, that deal puts the Raiders in a situation where they can improve this roster. They can go out there, they can draft a young kid and let him sit if need be. You know what I mean? There are a lot of things that this Geno Smith contract helps the Raiders, the latitude to do. It helps the Raiders go out here and really build this team, essentially like having a rookie quarterback. That is what the Geno Smith contract means to us. And right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a lot of, you know, the value from these other quarterbacks, man. You know what I mean? Like Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes has a deal that goes into 2031 or something like that. Some crazy deal. I don't know what the hell they did over there with his deal, but we're going to start with Josh Allen, right? You know, Josh Allen has an average salary of $55 million. Joe Burrow, $55 million a year. $55 million, bro. It just make you get ugly when you say it. $55 million a effing year, bro. I'm trying to tell you guys how important it was to go out there and go get Geno Smith. How clutch that is. You know, I don't know if some of you guys heard Antonio Pierce kind of talking about what it takes to win in this league and being on the same page and getting your quarterback and getting your guy, and the Raiders got their guy. And that was the thing. That was the monkey that Pete got off the back of the Raiders. We haven't done a good job drafting quarterbacks almost ever. We've always been an organization who kind of goes out and goes on bargain basement shopping, used car shopping for a quarterback, if I'm being honest. But look at some of these other deals. Trevor Lawrence, $55 million. Brock Mitty McMiddlot Purdy, $53 million. Justin Sherbert, $52. Lamar Jackson, $52. Jalen Hurts, $51. Dak Prescott, $60 million hardcore dollars, bro. Kyler Murray, $46. Deshaun Watson isn't even playing. $46 million a year. Guaranteed contract of $230 million, bro. They're paying Deshaun Watson to essentially sit there and get his mental right. They got a million other quarterbacks on the roster for the Browns. This guy's getting paid $46 million a year, man. Jordan Love, $55 million a year. Tua throwing the ball over, $53 million. Jared Goff, $53 million. Kirk Cousins is on the bench making $45 million. $45 million, bro. On the bench. He's a whole backup, bro. Sam Darnold, starting, does not deserve as much as Geno, is what it is. Baker Mayfield, $33 million. That's a huge bargain. That is a huge bargain, right? Stafford, $42 million. Old as Methuselah, right? And then you got Geno Smith at $37 million, guys. It took us 19 other quarterbacks in this league to get to Geno Smith. Man, my God, man. Masterful work by Pete Carroll and the Raiders, man. Masterful work. Masterful work, man. Alpha, what I do? What's crazy work? What's crazy work? That's crazy work they making that much. Time for defensive players to get the bag early and often. Now, look, bro, you gotta understand something, right? You get paid in the National Football League. It's a meritocracy in the National Football League, right? The better you play, the more value you add to the organization, the higher you get paid, right? That's just what it is. That's why you'll never see a kicker be the highest paid player in the league, right? You'll never see that. Quarterbacks are the most valuable piece. If we're talking about the chessboard, right? The queen is the most powerful piece, right? But the king is the most important piece. Because once you capture the king, the game is over, right? Quarterbacks are essentially that. Quarterbacks make that much commiserate to the fact that they touch the ball more than anyone. They have the most impact on the game than anyone. And I don't think that you will see, defensive players get as much money because if we're being honest, as long as you have a hard cap in football, defensive players run the risk of getting hurt a lot. If you're in a position where, you miss 3, 4, 5 games, stuff like that a year, you're not, that pay's never going to get to what a quarterback is going to be. It's never going to be that way. It's never going to be that way. So, I mean, this is a meritocracy, man. Quarterbacks will always get paid more than everyone else. And defense wins championships. And defensive players need to be paid. And if we talk about, the economics of football, the salary cap is forever going up because the National Football League is making more money every single day. They're getting higher TV deals every single day. Unless these guys killed the goose that laid the golden egg, that's what's going to happen. But the Geno deal, let's get back to Geno here, man. I've kind of gone off on the reservation here. The Geno deal is really the pinnacle note in turning this whole program around. Because if you notice in that game, right, Geno Smith got hit. And let me tell you something. It's been a long time that I've seen a quarterback play for this team that is able to get that much pressure, because there was a lot of pressure on Geno this game, get hit as much as he has, and still come through and play at a high level. Still, phenomenal game by Geno Smith, and I hope it continues, man. And it puts us in a situation where the Raiders can really build this roster in a real way. And I'm going to tell you another thing. The Max Crosby deal is looking better and better every single day. The way the Raiders came in and got out ahead of this thing with Max Crosby should be studied by other teams. I'm telling you right now. Like when you start looking at the Max Crosby contract, when you start looking at that Max Crosby deal and you see how much Micah Parsons got, man, it is a phenomenal contract, yo. A phenomenal contract, man. Salute to the Raiders, man. Salute to the Raiders on that, man. They listen, man. There are some things that some of us feel like we can find fault with what's going on in this offseason. But the one thing we can't find fault with is the way that John Spytek and Pete has gone about their business. Now, the Max Crosby contract, man, base salary of $32 million a year, a prorated signing bonus of $2.5 million, a restructure prorated bonus of $2.5 million, a GM roster bonus of $500,000, $10,000 workout bonus, right? $38 million cap hit. $35 million cap hit in 2026 and $29 million cap hit in 2027. And if it continues, $27 million, $28 million into 2029. So he'll be a restricted free agent in 2029, right? And there's a potential out in 2028 with zero dead money. So this is a masterful contract as commiserate to what guys that are on the same level as Max Crosby is making. Because, when you start talking about, Myles Garrett, when you start talking about, all of these other guys, these guys, Micah Parsons, these guys are getting paid big freaking money, man. And yo, Geno was not chilling, bro. Geno got hit this game, bro. I'm gonna pull the numbers up. Geno got hit. He made it look like he was chilling, bro. Geno made it look like he was chilling. That was the beauty of how well he played, bro. He made it look like he was chilling. Yo, my guy JT, man. Between Herbert and Tre, the Chargers paid him almost $60 million. We don't pay tickets since the Browns declined his extension and pay him fully guaranteed. Wait, hold. What we talking about? Between Herbert and Tre. You talking about Trey Lance? Yeah, they paid him almost $60 million. That's right. And what you saying? We don't pay we don't pay a cent. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we don't pay Ticket a cent. Oh, you talk about Pickett. We don't pay Kenny Pickett a cent since the Browns declined his extension. No, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. Yo, the Kenny Pickett deal should be studied. The Geno Smith deal should be studied, bro. Oh my God. Yeah, Geno was sacked 4 times, bro. Geno was sacked 4 effing times, bro. I don't know what game you was watching. Geno was not chilling, bro. Geno was not chilling, bro. Yo, my guy Terry Ogden with the $5 smackaroonie. I meant low stats are because of the slick ground, conservative effort to stop him. Landry, Williams, Barrymore, Spillane chasing in the box. Yeah, no, that's a fact. Read that one before, yo. Yo, my guy, Ruben Rush, Josh McDumbass, 5 rushing attempts in the second half. Expect a better, more balanced attack from Greg Romer. Booker needs to follow up with another big game. Yeah, T-Book balled, man. I think Booker is going to be fine, bro. Look, the thing about Booker that I noticed, he has the ability. He has the talent. He just needed more reps. That was a terrific trade, man. A terrific trade. A lot, even myself, I was apprehensive about this. I think Booker is a guy that, you can't question his motor. That's one thing that they always said, right? You can't question his motor. You can't question the ability. When you got guys like Lane Johnson coming out and saying that this guy's going to be a future All-Pro, that speaks volumes to me. Game recognized game. Good players and great players recognize good and great players, yo. Salute to everybody over there on X, too, man. We got a lot of people over there on X, man. We got over 776 in the room. Get wasted with your brother wasted, man. Chip called a great game. The true test will be seeing how he schemes for Jeanty going forward. The Pats sold out stopping the run. It worked and opened up the play action pass for Geno. Yes, it did, Anthony. But this is the thing, Anthony. Chip Kelly has had he has had a propensity for kind of falling off in the second half from a scheme perspective, if I'm being honest. I want to see Chip Kelly be able to pour it on. Because if I'm being honest, right, the defense is what won us that football game. Pitching damn near shutout in the second half is what won us that game, man. The Raiders need another offensive line. Yes, we do. We do. The Raiders, look, man, win, lose, or draw. The Raiders, when I look at this team just early on, right, I think the Raiders need to continue to invest in the offensive line. I think the Raiders need to continue to invest in the secondary, right? And I think the Raiders, and I wanted to ask you guys what you think about this. I think the Raiders need to go and use a fullback. And I know it's old school football, but just to get Jeanty going, I think they need to employ and use a fullback. I really do. Shout out to my dog, Andy, in the place, man. Andy, salute, bro. The biggest takeaway is Pete Carroll didn't have an ego, and letting Graham call the second half after seeing that Drake May was able to get comfortable against Pete's zone scheme, switching to Graham man scheme. I mean, Andy, do you think that it wasn't the other way around, though? Because, Patrick Graham has always ran that cover 3 shell, right? Patrick Graham is a heavy zone guy. Do you think that was Patrick Graham running man or what? I mean, I don't know, Andy. I mean, Andy, man, if you were around, bro, you are more than welcome to grace us with your presence, my brother. Salute, man. Salute. My guy, Raider Knight in the place, man. Salute, bro. Appreciate you, bro. And Raider Knight, look, I'm going to be real with you, bro. Raider_Knight. I appreciate you for watching me, and I don't even want to mention this, but what I would tell y'all is this, man. Please do me a favor. Do not come in my chat disrespecting one of my guys, man. Don't ever do it. And people can see it, and I normally don't mention it. Do not disrespect Graphic, Hammer, Mike, Andy, nobody. Don't disrespect my guys because, look, at the end of the day, these are my friends in real life. Don't disrespect my guy, man. Please. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to you. Because, look, let me tell you something, man. You disrespect my guys, you will be unceremoniously blocked.
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
Yeah, man. The F up out of here with that crap. Hey, yo, Andy, and I really think that Pete told Graham to blitz more, bro. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I think it was the other way around, Andy. I could be wrong, though, bro. Yo, I noticed that Pete talked to Graham. I did too, bro. I did too. I did too, bro. He said that's my favorite one. That's my favorite one too. Now, guys, look, my guy Hug D's is in the place, man. Yo, the one thing that I noticed, and we talked about this after the game, I don't want to get too into this. We got almost 800 in the room, y'all. Salute to everybody in the chat. Yo, no, Raider Knight. It's Raider Knight and there's Raider_Knight. It is you're the good Raider Knight for the day. But yeah, yo, shout out to my guy Hug D. Shout out to my guy Thor in a place to be too. And Thor was in a place to be. Thor, let me ask you a question, bro. Thor, what did you think about the Raider faithful out there in Boston? How were the vibes, man? Did we take that stadium over? How were the vibes? Thor, let everybody know in the chat, Thor. Salute to Thor, man. Yo, Devin White played like a boss, man. Devin White, man. I told you guys, I have big respect, and I'm very, very hopeful for Devin White and Jamal Adams if they can stay healthy this year. These guys are gonna move mountains for us, man. They're gonna move mountains for us, man. CGR, what's the deal, brother? What is the deal, yo? What are y'all doing, man? Y'all in here blocking people, man. I don't be blocking nobody, man. Oh, my God, Buddy Bear's in the place, man. You finally made it. Where the F you been, Lord Buddy Bear? My guy Thor. He said, we took over big time. Ran them up out their own stadium. Yeah, Thor, I heard you over there sounding like Barney from the damn Simpsons, bro. Thor, you was slapped at that game, bro. They're like, y'all get your asses up out of here. Now, I saw you, bro. I heard you, bro. Shout out to my dog Thor, man. Yo, my God, DeMarcus Webb. It feels like a full circle moment. Devin as a Raider, I wanted that guy as a gamer. I did too, bro. I did too, man. I want us to draft. When we took Klee, I was pissed that we didn't draft Devin White. Yo, Thor said I was hella loaded, bro. I heard. Bro, I saw you on Instagram. I said somebody needs to go check on Thor, bro. Thor was smacked. Thor was smacked, yo. Yeah, hey, listen, bro. I ain't mad at you, Lord Buddy Bear, man. Hey, man, you got to earn that paper, man. Got to get to the paper, man. But guys, listen, look, let's get back to this, man. Yo, T-Book is a steal. Hopefully he can play and get some penetration against the Chargers. I don't want to touch too much on the Chargers game because, look, I'm going to be honest with you. We're doing a show later this week. It's going to be a Graph and Wasted show. It's going to be a most splendiferous occasion, man. But guys, one thing I noticed about Pete Carroll, man, is him pushing the right buttons, man. Like I think not enough has been made about him going with Kai Blue Kelly in the ninth hour, bro. Because this is a guy who had a solid training camp, right? He has a very high draft pick in Porter who didn't get one snap this weekend. Did not get one snap. And Kai Blue Kelly played out of his mind, bro. I'm very happy with the play we got out of him. Now he's gonna get a big test this week, right? Because look, when you talk about the Chargers, you talk about Justin Herbert, you talk about a quarterback that's at the top of this league and is playing at the top of this league. They looked pretty good against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that this is a different game for them, right? They're coming all the way back from Brazil. They kind of got some rest, but I think that this is a perfect game for the Raiders to go out there and establish themselves from a physical standpoint, right? Now, Keenan Allen has always been an issue for the Raiders, and the Raiders have had an issue with leaving the middle of the field open. Keenan Allen has always killed us. He's always killed us. I am not convinced that, their other wide receiver, the young fella, is going to be able to hold on to the ball. My God, thank you. UA Mel. Devin White is the Bobby Wagner role of this defense. I think he could do it at a high level. Now, see, UA Mel, I think you kind of overselling a little bit. Bobby Wagner, bro, from a cover standpoint, is one of the best middle linebackers to ever play this game, bro. He's one of the best middle linebackers to ever play this game in general, bro. So I think to say that he's playing like Bobby Wagner when they had him really playing the will a lot of this too. I don't see it that way, man. I don't view it that way. I mean, but UA Mel, we disagree constantly, right? Robert Cisneros with the $2 slap at Rooney, man. Booker is a sneaky, still dude ball. That's a fact, man. Oh, yeah, my guy, Breezy LA. Tre Tucker got out of my doghouse from when he hit the DB White in Denver and mossed him for the pick, like you said in the new season. Yeah, listen, bro. Wasted been told you. Tre Tucker, I'm telling you right now, is gonna move mountains for this offense, yo. Phil Maddock, man, my guy in the place. I'm anticipating a heavy dose of Jeanty at home against the Chargers. I am too, bro. I am too. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I don't see that, I'm gonna be very, very concerned. Be very, very concerned. Very concerned, y'all. Yo, my guy Hug D's in the place to be. Watch the Max Pod. No panic at halftime, no speech. They just went out there and earned it like they believed according to Max. I'm not sure how many will understand this, but that's a huge deal. The players are locked in, and that's a fact. And see, the thing is, yo, when you get a coach that can show a team that's been losing a lot what good looks like, that's imperative to changing the culture of this team, bro. All that rah-rah shit, guys not knowing what to do. Listen, sometimes, bro, less is more. Rhetoric is not going to change anything with these teams, bro. Rhetoric is not going to change things, man. My guy, George Cortina says 17-0. Tucker was open a lot, and his route running is much better. Dude is going for it all in the contract this year, and that's what we need, bro. That's what we need. But, yo, this week is all about establishing the Death Star, y'all. This week is about establishing the Death Star. And, guys, I said this from the beginning, bro. Tre Tucker benefited from playing with Devontae Adams. I don't like Beyonce Adams, but what I can do is I can give him his credit. Yo, and Isaiah Powell-Mal, man. Isaiah Powell-Mal is a guy I'm looking to have a big, big game this week, man. I love the trend that we're going on. We got a takeaway. We haven't done that a whole lot over the last few years, but he's been stepping up in that starting role, man. And Isaiah Powell-Mal is emerging and looking like a full-time starter, bro. He's looking like a guy that in this cover 3 scheme will be vital, bro. Will be vital because he plays tremendous in space, man. Tremendous in space, man. Tremendous, man. Isaiah Powell-Mal was balling, man. He praised his defensive line too, and the defensive line was getting busy too, man. Yo, we got to give a shout out to Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson is looking like he's figuring out. And the sack that he got, a lot of people, much has been made of Tyree Wilson playing the 3-tech. He got that sack from the outside. He got that sack from the outside. That is a beautiful thing. Now, he got it bull rushing. He got it from pressure coming from Kuntz and Max, but he's closing the deal in a way that he didn't before, man. He's closing the deal in a way that he did not before, man. I love it, man. I love it, man. That was a power move, bro. I love watching that. And it shows exactly how effective he can be, bro. It shows that, yo, you can run a package and have him on the field the same time as Malcolm Kuntz. I also love to see how Malcolm Kuntz was able to kind of get loose and show everybody that his knee is all right, man. You know, DeMarcus Webb, man. Pal Mal gets turnovers. No offense to Merrick, but Isaiah is more aggressive and assertive creating turnovers. Now, listen, the one thing that I hate, man, is, you know, comparing guys to other guys, right? You know what I mean? Like, Merrick was asked to do different things in his defense than Pal Mal, right? He played a different position. Jeremy Chin is a guy that I'm really, really curious to see how they use Chin going forward, because he was out of position a couple of times. I want to see the way they're going to use Jeremy Chin, man. I definitely do. Michael Mayer has his confidence back. That's huge, Reese. Michael Mayer looks like he's balling. Yo, my guy Hug D's with a $2 slappy. Expect run, pass option early, unload the box. Yeah, I mean, look, man. It is imperative that the Raiders establish balance, right? It's imperative that the Raiders kind of win the battle when it comes to time of possession. It's imperative, right? Because when you have a dynamic quarterback like a Justin Herbert, you want to make sure you keep the football out of his hands. First and foremost, you want to go full Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick. It's very imperative. Yo, my dog Halo is in a place. You're wasted. One thing I hate is our home games never feel like home games. That's got to change. Well, bro, Halo, and I've said this to Raider Nation, bro. That only changes if you win. Look, man, people got way too much stuff to do in Las Vegas, bro. Way too much stuff to do. They listen, man. They got massage parlors. They got casinos. They got dispensaries. They you know, it's an entertainment town. They got people flying in, magic shows. I mean, even when you walking down Fremont and stuff like that, it's always something going on in Las Vegas. In a town that does not know the Raiders the way we do as a fan base, they're not gonna watch a shitty football team in the most expensive ticket in freaking football. They're not. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I mean, listen, look. If I'm being honest, if Deshaun Watson was a free agent, he better not ever come to Las Vegas, because he might lose his damn mind being in Las Vegas. V Breeze to LA. Instead of using a fullback, we could use a tight end or receivers in motion to serve as lead blockers. If we do this, it creates more options at the snap. Look, I'm old school, man. I think sometimes, man, you got to just play power football and impose your will on the other team. You got to play. Look, I want to see Jeanty in the beginning of his career. I want to see the Raiders bring a fullback. I'm telling you, this is what I want to see. Halo calling me. Halo, get the F up out of here with your crap. The F is wrong with you, Halo. Calling me a dirty. I'm not a dirty old man. I'm just being realistic. I mean, at every corner, this is what the F is going on over there. Alpha Omega says tourism is drop. Mark Davis got to reduce them ticket prices to black out Allegiant Stadium. Bro, look, the thing about what's going on at Allegiant Stadium, if we want to really talk about this, you have a bunch of casinos, right? You have a bunch of businesses in Las Vegas. A lot of those tickets are bought by entities and not fans. And they're comping tickets, they're giving them away, stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff, bro, is, you know, you giving people, because it's such a transient town, right? It is very, very hard for the average working Joe to go and be a season ticket holder with the Raiders. It is because when you walk into the stadium, you are getting a whole experience unlike anything else in the National Football League. Sports in general is that. Like when you go to a Knicks game at the Garden, you can't even dream to even sit down on the floor unless you are a corporate entity or you're a very rich person. Seriously. Team Garza. Boat gang or don't bang. What the F are you even doing in here? The F are you, man?
Man, you a bitch.
F up out of my chat. You effing bum Charger fan. How many of it are you guys? You in here glazing a Raider content creator like Blazing because you don't have anybody for your team to watch. You know what? I'm not even going to put you in the gulags. I'm going to let you watch the greatness that is wasted talent. I'm going to let you watch the greatness, and hopefully we go out there and put belt to ass to the bum-ass Chargers. You effing bum. The F up out of here. I mean, all 5 of the fans for the Chargers. Bro, it's so bad. When they do the AFC West show, they can't even find another content creator. They can't even find another one. They got the TikTok guy, the Katie Lang looking guy, and then they have nobody else, bro. It's a hard watch. There's no Charger content creators, bro. It's crazy, bro. They had some dude that Graffinham had over there last year. The dude, I don't even know who this guy is, man. Effing bum. They don't have any fans over there, bro. None. Yeah, lesbian vampire. That's it. That's all they had. Lesbian Dracula. That's it. They had nobody else over there. They don't have a fan base. They suck. But I'm talking about in graphs in them AFC West. I don't know about the other one. I don't want to disrespect nobody over there. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But what I'm saying is there are no Charger content creators. So listen, you guys, if you want to watch content, you want to talk about ball, you can stay over here. You could just watch this greatness. But know that your fan base sucks. You suck. And also for the second time.
Man, you a bitch.
Right. Just know that. You effing bum. TikTok Chargers. Yeah, that's right, man. Oh, yeah, I ain't saying that. Yeah, but yeah, they're terrible, bro. Terrible. Effing bum-ass fans, man. Yo, bro, I'm telling you, that might be the worst fan base in football, man. Seriously, bro. Seriously. Half of the people that were San Diego Chargers fans are out surfing and eating street tacos and crocheting and doing yoga, right? And then the rest of them are a bunch of dudes who walk around looking like they're dressed to go to a baby shower. It's ridiculous, man. Effing ridiculous, man. They have no call. I mean, the absolute armpit of the NFL, the worst fan base going. And then you got a jack wagon over there like Jim Harbaugh. And I hate Jim Harbaugh. I would love to beat him. Sucks. But so stay a while and get cooked. It's like homie in the chat said a while ago. They hate us because they ain't us. They still feeling that ass whooping from 2 series ago. That's right. But yo, if I'm gonna be honest, right? Us owning LA, air quotes, means nothing to me. We need to own them on the field. We need to beat that ass this year. Belt to ass this year, man. And yo, look, man, you say Pete's whipping boy. Harbaugh is not Pete's whipping boy, bro. He's not. Harbaugh is a damn good coach. Harbaugh is 6-6 versus Pete Carroll. And for just as much pain as Harbaugh has caused to Pete, Pete's caused as much to him. Now, Pete has a playoff victory over him, one playoff victory over him, and he's 5-4 against Jim Harbaugh, but they're 6-6 versus each other. You forget back in college when Jim Harbaugh came in with a horrendous Stanford team that came in there and beat the number 2 ranked team in the nation. You forget those times where when the rabbit had the gun, when Harbaugh had Andrew Luck, they boat raced USC and went for 2 on them. You forget those times. You forget those times, bro. Don't forget. Pete and Harbaugh, that is a stalemate right there, bro. That's a stalemate. My guy Soul Chef, the Chargers and their fans are the shit stain on the underwear of the NFL. You better watch your effing mouth. Watch your mouth, Soul Chef. Watch your mouth. It's a family show, Soul Chef. Golly, man. Raider Knight, Raider underscore. Now, thank you. Thank you. This is more palatable. Even Sean Merriman loves us more than his own Chargers. He definitely does. He wanted to be a Raider so bad. Sean No Neck Merriman. F up out of here. Their fans are lame as F. And so, you watch your mouth too. What the F is wrong with you? Thank you, George Cortinez. We love having you here, man. Love having you. It's a family show with all these effing. What is wrong with you guys? Don't you guys know that young people watch this show?
The tutorial that says you know what the fuck you doing.
Hey, come on. The family show. Why me playing the drop with the kid cursing too? What the hell is wrong with me? Yo, my God. Who is the better coach, Pete Carroll or Harbaugh? The tiebreakers Monday night in the Death Star. I don't listen, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. There is no better. Like, they're both great coaches, man. Like, if we're gonna take our glasses off, our Raider glasses off, the rose-colored glasses off, right? Who's the more accomplished coach? It is Pete Carroll. But Pete Carroll has been coaching longer than him. Pete Carroll was coaching when Jim Harbaugh was in the league playing. But Jim Harbaugh is a hell of a coach. It's a hell of a coach. A hell of a coach. Jim Harbaugh, I would have loved if we'd have hired Jim Harbaugh. He's a hell of a coach. He really is, man. And he has that Raider spirit. He started out here as a Raider. He got a lot of that Al Davis in him. He's cut from that Bo Schembechler cloth, right? He does a lot of bullshit, right? But the one thing about this thing is this is personal, man. This is like the Highlander. These guys have followed each other around trying to beat each other. So let's hope Pete can get the upper hand on him, man. Seriously. You're damn right. It's only a matter of time. The longer this show goes on, the longer the chances increase for somebody to get unceremoniously blocked. Oh, my God. Andrew Gonzalez becoming a member of Raider Nation Unlimited, man. It helps the channel grow in droves, man. Samuel, Wasted, you think Geno could compete with Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar? Yes, I do. But this is the thing in the National Football League. You don't have to have the better quarterback to win all the time. You got to have a better team as a whole. And you got to have the guy that operates and executes at the highest level. You got, so it's a complete team effort, right? And I think the reason why the Raiders have kind of struck gold with this situation that we're in is that for the next few years, you'll have Geno Smith, right? And hopefully Geno Smith stays contractually where he needs to be, right? And hopefully the Raiders can draft the heir apparent to him, and they're a great young player, right? They can finally draft an all-time great quarterback. That's the dream for me, right? So we can have 10, 11, or 12 years of sustained excellence, right? But the key to Geno Smith is this team getting better, building this team, trending towards being a perennial playoff contender, had his team trending towards a situation where they are perennially in a conversation to win the division and win and go to the Super Bowl, not paying him like a Patrick Mahomes. Now, see, the Chiefs did it right. They won and became a winner when Patrick Mahomes was on a rookie deal. But as the years go on and Patrick Mahomes gets older, it is going to be harder and harder for them to contain and maintain that level of excellence. You can see Patrick Mahomes is still in his prime, right? So I think what's going to want to have Patrick Mahomes probably have to take a pay cut, or they got to restructure. They got to have to do something, right? Because that window is getting ever so closed, right? Andy Reid is getting older. Who knows how much longer he wants to do this, right? So, then now it's going to be the delineation between who gets hired when Andy Reid leaves, right? Who gets hired then? Is that guy a good coach? Is it Spags? Is it Matt Nagy? Matt Nagy's terrible, right? Like who's the person? Can you continue that level of excellence without Andy being the trigger man? Without, maybe Andy might go up there and become the GM, right? So that's the thing. I feel like the Raiders are set because our best player is getting paid under market value and our quarterback is getting paid under market value. So now you get a chance to build the rest of the team, and you get a guy like John Spytek, who is very fiscally responsible and very, very savvy when it comes to who should get paid and who shouldn't. If you look at a situation where we have Jacoby, there are a lot of people that are saying that Jacoby Myers, pay him right now. It's week 1. Let's see how this transpires, right? Because the thing is that apparently Jacoby Myers isn't asking for something. I don't know what he's asking for. Nobody does. But Jacoby Myers is not asking for something that the Raiders brass is willing to pay based off of the fact that yo, maybe he's asking for wide receiver number one money or somewhere in the middle. So what does wide receiver number one money look like? We spoke about this before. How much are you willing to pay Jakobi Meyers, even as good as he's played? As good as he's played, how much are you willing to pay him? How much? Because listen, Jamar Chase makes more than Geno Smith. His average contract per year is $40 million. Justin Jefferson's making $35 million. CeeDee Lamb is making $35 million. DK Metcalf is making $33 million. Garrett Wilson, the young bull, $32 million. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, $32 million. Deserves every penny. AJ Brown, $32 million for them not to throw him the football. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a stone cold lead pipe number one, $30 million. Brandon Ayuk is not even playing right now. And Tyreek Hill, both making $30 million. T. Higgins, $28 million a year. I don't think that Jakobi is the player that T. Higgins is, if I'm being honest. Jalen Waddle, $28 million a year. J-Mo just got kind of, cashed out, $27 million. DJ Moore, young guy, still making his way in the league, $27 million. Devontae Smith, definitely great young receiver, $25 million. I think he's their best receiver, right? Nico Collins, $24 million. Michael Pittman, you see the kind of game he's having, $23 million. Calvin Ridley, 23. Cortland Sutton, 23. Devontae Adams, 22. So the thing is, right, are you willing to pay Jakobi Meyers what Devontae Adams is making? Are you willing to pay him more than Mike Evans? Are you willing to do that? Because do we even know if that gets it done? Because Jacoby's making $11 million this year. Can you get Jakobi Meyers into Deebo Samuel company? Maybe $17 million. Is that worth it to you? And then the thing is, if you pay him, right, is he still going to be the number one receiver in this? Because this is the thing. This is what's happening. The receiver room is evolving around him. Is he going to be your number one guy, right? And for those of you who say, why not, right? What happens if you're paying him, right? And then Dante Thornton Jr. goes absolutely batshit, goes crazy, becomes a stone cold lead pipe receiver that you're going to have to pay in 2 or 3 years $40 million a year to keep, right? Then you got to understand it's about the hierarchy on your roster, right? So, and look, I'm not saying not to pay him, right? But it's people, places, and things. So let's say you give Jakobi Meyers $18 million. You give him $18 million a year. You give him 19, 20. You guys are like, okay, that's cool, right? And then he comes back to earth and he has a season where he has 700 yards and he catches 5 touchdowns. And he starts dropping the football again because what happens? You see, the thing about the Raiders and being a good GM and knowing that you're going to have this job and having that security and the latitude to look down the road is the only way that you can build in this league. You guys, listen, if Brock Bowers is looking like he is a top one of one guy at his position, he is going to absolutely break the bank. You already got another guy that's a top guy in this league that is getting cashed out max. Then let's hope Jeanty becomes a Saquon level back. The Raiders are in a position where they'll be able to pay him. Because if Geno's still a quarterback or if they draft another kid, they'll be able to pay him. These are the things that you have to keep in mind, bro. Because like I say all the time, right? Jacoby's here for a good time, not a long time, man. And if I'm being real with you, if Jack Bech becomes a better player than him and you're paying that guy almost $20 million, now it's organizational malpractice, bruh. Yo, be patient. Be patient. That's all I'm saying. Now, listen, if Jakobi Meyers, if we get to the trade deadline, Jakobi Meyers has almost 1,000 yards or over 1,000 yards He got about 8 or 9 touchdowns. It's looking like he's ascending as a player. Then now we got to talk. But I feel like they've drafted his replacement, bro. I do. Cal Slate. Nah, we drafted Best to do the same thing as Jacoby. We give the boy an extra $2 million and guarantee something to get the most out of him and thank him. But we can see what we need at wide receiver next year. And to be honest with you, that's how I view it. Give him a couple of more million, shore him up for like next year, a couple, 3, get him into that, $14, $15 million range and call it a day. And that, listen, the economics of football, that's the ugly part of football, y'all. The economics of football is the ugly part of it. Now, it's not our money, right? But it has a direct result of how well the team plays or how they're able to outfit some of these guys. And then, guys, this is the thing, right? You got a roster full of potential. You got a roster full of young players. You have a roster that is an ascending roster with a really good coach and a great coach, a guy that is carving out a Hall of Fame resume as we speak at 73 years old, right? The oldest coach to ever coach, but he's a great coach, great guy, full of energy, right? You got some blue chip studs that you've been getting it right with the draft. And hopefully JPJ does well, right? This season will be the litmus test for how the Raiders spin and how serious they are with contracts. This is the year, because if you can get close to the playoffs or you can get into the playoffs, now you know you're ready to win. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Oh my God. That's how I see it. Paul Pena, in my opinion, is to pay him $20 million a year while our receivers on a rook. No, because listen, bro, if you pay him $20 million and you owe him all his money, he got a cap hit, and he goes from being your number one wide receiver and your third option on offense, right? He goes from that when he gets the contract to being your fourth wide receiver. Now, how stupid does that sound? Shore him up for 2 years is always saying. And Reese, that's all you're saying. But that might not be what his agent is saying. He might not be receptive to just shoring him up for 2 years. He got to get his money, bro. And I fuck with it. But I'm going to be honest with you. There ain't a team in this league that's going to pay Jacoby Myers $20 million. And I know we get caught up in the emotion. He had a good game, good catch. There ain't a team in this league that's paying that man $20 million. I'm sorry. If I'm wrong, then I will come in front of the congregation and admit I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. Listen, guys, we've been going over an hour and a half, man. I've been very loquacious today. I've been talking up a storm. This has been a great Raider Nation Unlimited, man. Great Raider Nation Unlimited. Seriously. You guys, if you guys got anything else you want to talk about, you let me know in the chat. But I think I'm going to get out of here. This has been a most splendiferous occasion. Guys, if you haven't joined, man, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, man. I'm gonna say it 3 times, like the scamming Dr. Umar Johnson. Hit that button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, man. Everybody in the chat, man. Get wasted with your brother Wasted. Everybody on Twitter, do me a favor, man. If y'all are on Twitter, y'all watching me, we got to get them Twitter numbers up too, man. There is no way that a content creator of my stature should ever not be doing well on Twitter. So, guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Everybody in here who is not following me, go on Twitter, follow your brother Wasted. I'm also, going crazy over there on TikTok. The old man has got on TikTok. So do me a favor, man. Go on over there and do that as well, man. If you guys could, if you can humor me. But, guys, I appreciate you guys. Love every single one of you guys. I appreciate you guys coming up here and pulling up into the show. There's going to be some great stuff happening this week. You know what I mean? Graf and I got some stuff cooking with some players. We're going to be doing the Grab and Wasted show. So the Wasted and Grab show. Y'all know that. Y'all love that. And that's going to be going on. And guys, man, listen, man, I appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all have a terrific week, man. And we're going to go and hopefully we're going to beat the Chargers' asses, man. It's X, not Twitter. I know, old man. I know, old man. I still say Twitter. You get the F up out of here with your crap, Dan. Don't get me started on the way out, man. Y'all have a terrific night, man. Peace.